Talk Show. Recorded live.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures. This is Travis, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have a pretty entertaining episode. Tonight, we're talking about the Gainesville Ripper, both the movie made by Josh Townsend, who will be coming on to talk to me here in about 5 minutes or so, I believe, and, of course, the real-life horror of Danny Rolling, the Gainesville Ripper. Now, again, the show is kind of true crime in nature. It's our main event of August, and it's kind of the wrap-up to our Scream movie series because, as most people know that are into the Scream series, those movies were heavily influenced by the crimes of the Gainesville Ripper in the early 90s in Florida, obviously Gainesville. So let's get into things. All right, so getting right into it, we're talking about Danny Harold Rolling, who was born May 26, 1954 in Shreveport, Louisiana. He had a pretty difficult upbringing. I mean, you would feel for the guy had he not committed such heinous crimes. I mean, there's a lot of parallels to be made with Bundy and a lot of other serial killers. But, you know, his crimes have some similarities to them. But his upbringing, I mean, this is one of those situations where it's like, well, of course he ended up this way. You know, his dad, James, he was an abusive asshole. There's really no other way to put it. I mean, he pretty much told Danny Rolling that he was unwanted from birth. His dad, James, was actually a Shreveport police officer who abused him, his mother, Claudia, and later his brother, Kevin. And in fact, in one incident, Danny's mother went to the hospital after claiming James actually tried to make her cut herself with a razor blade. There were some other incidents where, you know, she actually left because he got pissed off that she was trying to put up a Christmas tree. Because there's no better way to ruin Christmas than put up a Christmas tree, right? That's just drunk behavior. So, anyway, James Rolling, obviously, he had a lot of issues, and he took them out on Danny. I mean, even as a toddler, Danny would do this scoot across the floor when he was trying to learn how to crawl and then, you know, later walk. Well, his dad would actually, like, push him around and just treat him like a dog. But speaking of dogs, I mean, Danny's only friend as a kid that, you know, that we're really aware of, because Danny was obviously having a tough time with his father, was his dog. And no, this is not another Son of Sam. We talked about that last month. But his dad actually heavily abused this dog. I mean, beat this dog every chance he could get. And from all reports, what happened was James Rolling actually killed the dog. And the dog died in Danny's arms, which I got to assume would fuck somebody up pretty bad. And that seems to be the case in this situation. Danny, you know, he was close with the dog, and to sit there and watch his dad, somebody that you're supposed to love and feel strongly about, beat your you know, man's best friend to the point of death, I think that would fuck somebody up in the head right from the start. And that's basically what happened here. So there were other situations like Claudia. I mean, his mom, she made repeated attempts to leave her husband, but she always returned. It's the typical battered wife syndrome. You know, they believe that they can't leave, and if they do, they're not going to be able to survive on their own, that they need their husband, or they're just scared of him. And, you know, it's a little bit of column A, column B here, I'd say, from everything I've heard, read, and everything else. You know, one example of James Rolling's quote-unquote discipline was he pinned Danny to the ground, handcuffed him, and then had police take his son away because he was embarrassed by him. I mean, it's like, dude, what is wrong with you? Well, Vic's on the line, and also, at the same time, Josh Townsend is on the line. That's who I want to talk to, so he'll be on now. What's up, Josh? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing fine, man. I tell you what, so I've been doing all my Gainesville Ripper research just to kind of match it up with the movie, and I have to tell you, you know, you made the claim once upon a time that the movie was going to be the most accurate as far as serial killer films. I don't think you're too far from the truth there.
Have you seen the movie?
I have.
Oh, where did you see the movie at?
Well, it actually circulated. A friend had Cody and it was on Cody once upon a time. Now, I don't have a copy of it. I wish I did. So it's very tough. But I have watched some of the behind-the-scenes trailers recently too, and some of the rehearsals for the role of Danny Rolling. So it's been enjoyable to get back into it again.
Oh wow, that's cool. It's been so long since I made it that I haven't really thought about it that much, except for when I do these little every now and again. I get a podcast, kind of true crime thing, and but they haven't been talking about the filmmaking aspect. They want to talk about like the actual true crime stuff or whatever, and I kind of want to talk about making movies and everything. So once I kind of didn't really even check out your website until like 20 minutes ago, and I kind of realized, oh, this sounds cool, fucking drunken horror movie talking, cool.
Well, yeah, that's what we're known for. I will admit, once upon a time we did a show on Manson, and I got so drunk that I about passed out on the air. So hopefully I can remain sober enough to stay on the air tonight.
So you've seen Jim Van Bever's Manson movie?
I have. I've tried to watch everything that I can get a hold of just to see what they're like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually got to like kind of knock something off. Jim Van Bever's like, since I was a kid, was like really, really influential. Like Manson's family was like really influential for making this movie. This was like the first Gainesville Ripper's first movie I ever made. And I kind of didn't know what I was doing or anything, but actually last year I got to play a role in American Guinea Pig with Steve Byro's movie, where he's redoing the guinea pig movies from the Japanese kind of fake snuff movies, and he's made it American ones. And we did a Possession one last summer that's just now coming out, and Jim was in it, so I got to meet Jim. I mean, I'd met Jim before, and we actually kind of hung out like a year or two before, because he doesn't live too far from me. He's only like an hour or two south of me. So I kind of met him for the first time, and he was kind of thinking I was going to be some fanboy guy, but I'd already kind of been making movies, and we kind of became friends and everything. And I knew Steve Byro making American Guinea Pig, and so last year, like, we actually got on set, and like we were doing a take, and I have to look Jim in the eye and say a line. I just like, it's like meeting your hero or something, and working with him. I just fucking melted, dude. And Jim has this fucking crazy story of me blowing like first 3 takes on that, just because it was like, oh fuck, this is really happening.
Mm-hmm. I hear you, man. And the interesting thing to me, and to get into the actual movie part of it is, well, okay, so I'm not going to get into the actual background of the crime so much as I'm just interested in the fact that you were in Gainesville in high school, correct? I mean, you went to school there.
Yeah, I was going to Gainesville High at the time. Yeah, that's actually a really interesting story. It's a neat story. I was about to start 10th grade, and back then I just started getting into like horror movies and stuff. I was younger. I think I saw that movie Summer School with Mark Harmon, and I wanted to be like the 2 kids doing the effects, so I started learning how to do effects, bought the Tom Savini books, and I was like, that was before like I decided I wanted to direct. I thought I was going to do effects. So my parents, my friends are all like, I'm all about gore, and they're all like, making serial killer jokes and shit. So we were actually in the Keys, like kind of on vacation, but the weekend before we were supposed to start school again, and it hit the news down there, I think Saturday. They found 2 bodies in Gainesville, and so my family starts making jokes and everything, and I'm like, see, it could have been me. I'm down here at the Keys, we're 9 hours away, and my mom kind of did the math, and she's like, well, you could have drove up there and came back or whatever, and it's like, ha, 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 and then that was Saturday, I think, and so school starts on Monday. On Monday, they find the one body, the first person he killed, the lady who worked for the cops that was doing the call center. And then they realized it was the same. They didn't tell anybody really why, but, they realized it was the same person just because of the way he mutilated and posed them and everything like that. And then, so everybody started to kind of freak out. And then I think it was Wednesday, they found 2 more bodies, and one of them was a dude. I think that's the way it was, or it may have been the 2 girls. But anyway, so by Wednesday, it was like freak out, and it's a tiny little town, and I mean, it's really like, it was just really so small that we'd hear rumors all the time, like cut the head off and put it on a bookshelf. So when they opened the door, they'd see it, and didn't find out till like a couple years later that all those like rumors were real, just because I guess, the cops would tell their wives and it would get around like that just because it was, like I said, school was so small. But yeah, it panicked the whole town. It was why it was such a cool, unique situation. I was in, like I said, just starting 10th grade. So I think I just had some friends that were barely able to drive, and we were little kids and we were dumb, and so we weren't scared at all. But we just kind of were just going around that first week of school, and the whole town's freaking out. It's just different. Everything's so weird, and it changed the whole town. It was quite an experience. Like people selling pepper spray at the motel rooms, and the gun stores selling out, and it was just different. It was a unique situation, So that always stuck with me. And so when I eventually decided I was actually going to do feature, I decided that'd be my first feature. So make Gainesville Ripper, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that was custom made for a movie, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to say that you exploited that. You took advantage of that in a good way, you know what I mean? You were smart to do that. I wouldn't blame anybody for doing that, but it's great that you kind of jumped on board. And I know that, nobody was really too supportive down there of it, other than just curiosity, maybe.
I mean, I got it. I really tried to be nice about it, not exploitive and realistic, and really tell the truth, and not like really go stylistic horror like Dario Argento or or John Carpenter slasher movie, like really. Or if I did do something like that, there was a reason behind the psychological thing, like it's a movie in his head or something. But before anybody saw the movie, like everybody down there, nobody in all the cops, everybody, they just hated it. Newspapers started slamming it. It really, like, I tried to do just kind of like a little local premiere thing, and then just going to try to sell it and everything. And I had one or two papers or news stations that were kind of cool and fair, and the other ones were just like horrible, like Gainesville Sun, the biggest newspaper. I talked to that guy for like 3 hours one night because he didn't want to publish an article. But I think his like editor was making him have to do articles, so he's like kind of torn. And it's like I'm not really even trying. I'm kind of trying to talk him into it because I'd like people to come, but it's not like I'm making money off it. I'm just trying to show my movie that I've been working on forever, and it was a fucking crazy situation. And then this newspaper guy's like, I just don't like the idea of people profiting off murder and everything. It's like, well, then don't cash the check that you're gonna make from writing the article about my movie, because you're doing the same fucking thing, buddy. Can I cuss? I'm sorry, fuck.
Yeah, cuss all you want. That's the only way we can get by here. Well, all right, so check this out. Before we did this episode, we did Scream 1, Scream 2 and 3, Scream 4, and like I was commenting how on the Scream sequels that it was weird
Scream
that they
2.
were like, yeah,
Scream 2 is a lot like it.
Yeah, and they were like exploiting, okay, in the movie, they're real life deaths. And it's just weird to me. You kind of went through like the real thing, and you weren't even like being exploitive of it so much as you just were trying to tell a story. Like, that's why I watched that movie, and I'm like, that would never fly in real life.
I wasn't even like really trying to make money or anything like that. Like, it was just kind of a story I wanted to tell, and I wanted to figure out how to be a filmmaker and stuff. And I wasn't trying to get, make a lot of, so that was really what doubly got me. But it really, like, I did not expect the negative backlash I got from Florida. Like, it really, like, I had these people, like, I grew up, and it's like, this is the police spokesman for Gainesville Police Department. Her name's Sadie Darnell, so I'd see her on the news all the time because she talks about news, and then you have her, like, personally slamming you and saying some crazy shit about your movie that she's never seen. And it's like, oh, my God. And I've always loved exploit movies. I like pushing the boundaries. I like the gore movies. I mean, as a kid especially, I like the gore movies and stuff. Things have kind of changed since me wanting to just make blood effects and gore effects. Like, actually, like, try to do actual filmmaking stuff now. But like, I wasn't like I could have been so much worse, and I wasn't. So it really just I kind of just didn't even try to really sell it for a while. Like, I just kind of just tried to move on my life. Like, it really kind of got me. It was fucking, artistically got me. It's like they're not even giving me a chance artistically. They're like killing me before they even give the art, the art a chance. And I don't know, it's just a little frustrating. I had to kind of think about what I want to do, and then couldn't find a fucking producer or anybody that wanted to help me sell the movie. And it wasn't that big a deal because I owned the whole thing, and it only cost probably about $20,000. Like, I ended up actually, another true story, I cut my fucking fingers off working at a wood shop doing cabinets and stuff. I cut my fingers off. They sewed them back on.